to take a look at comparative advantage, absolute advantage. We're going to look at opportunity cost and how we're going to calculate that. Let's take a look at the notes we got here today. First, let's look at what's opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is the choice you did not make. For instance, I got 3 balls here, 1, 2, and 3, okay, representing 3 choices. I could choose choice 1, 2, or 3. If I choose choice 1, my opportunity cost would be 2 and 3 because I did not choose 2 and 3, okay? So I choose this, my opportunity cost will be what I didn't choose, okay? Having that concept in mind, let's take a look at a scenario where we have Italy and Spain. They can produce 2 products. Now we know in reality they produce way more than 2 products, but for simplicity's sake, we're going to choose just these 2 products. They can choose with their available resources, either trucks or boats. If they make 45 boats, they cannot make any. If they make 45 trucks, they cannot make any boats. If they make 60 boats, they cannot make any trucks. But if they do make, using their resources, they can make a total of 45 trucks or 60 boats. Spain can make 35 trucks or 70 boats. Okay, looking at opportunity cost. What's the opportunity cost? If Italy chooses to make 45 trucks, their opportunity cost would be the 60 boats. What's the opportunity cost if Spain decides to make 70 boats? The opportunity cost would be those 35 trucks because they couldn't make them with their available resources. Now, we're going to look at absolute and comparative advantage. What's absolute advantage? Absolute advantage is when you can make more product than your competitor. When it comes to boats, for instance, Italy has an absolute advantage because they can make more at 45. When it comes to boats, Spain can make more because they can do 70 instead of 60. So when it comes to absolute advantage, Spain has it for the boats, Italy has it for the trucks. Now, when it comes to comparative advantage, that's who can make that resource with the least amount of resources or more efficiently. Who can make the product more efficiently? To do that, we need to calculate per unit cost for each item. To do this, if I want to know how much Italy takes to make these trucks, I got to divide by the other option they could have had, which is the boats. To do that, put the 60 above the 45, take out your calculator. 60 divided by 45, that would equal 1.3. So 60 divided by 45, 1.3. In other words, it takes Italy 1.3 boats to make 1 truck. Okay, let's do it for Spain. 70 over 35. Okay, that's 2, right? 35 times 2 is 70. So it takes them 2 boats to make a truck. Now, when we're looking at comparative advantage, we're looking at the least amount of resources. So 1.3 is lower than 2. So Italy has a comparative advantage in making trucks because they use less resources. Okay, let's look at the boats. Then we're going to do the opposite. 45 over 60, 35 over 70. And it's okay to use your calculator. 45 divided by 60 equals, that's 0.75. 35 divided by 70 equals 0.5. Okay, this is the lower number. So Spain has the comparative advantage when it comes to boats. Okay, so that's a done deal. We said either can only do one or the other. So it would make sense to trade with the other company so you can maximize resources. Okay, how would we determine this? Whoever used the least amount of resources for that product should trade that product. Okay, we said that Italy had the comparative advantage when it comes to trucks, so they would trade their trucks. Spain has a comparative advantage when it comes to boats, they would trade boats. Okay, Now, what would be a acceptable number for both of them? It would be a number between 0.5 and 0.75 for the boats, because it takes in 0.75 of material, takes in 0.5 of material. So what's the number between 0.5 and 0.75? Okay. Any number in between that, let's say 0.6. Okay. So they would trade at 0.6 for boats, 0.6 for the boats. Okay. How about trading for trucks? Okay. Between 1.3 and 2, good number between 1.3 and 2, could be 1.5. Okay. But it's figure out exactly how they would, terms of trade. That would be terms of trade. A number that's in between both, so both parties are satisfied. Okay. That's terms of trade. All right, let's go ahead and get this out of the way real quick. Okay, we just went over opportunity cost and comparative advantage and terms of trade. When it comes to terms of trade, like I'm saying, you would look at a number that's in between both numbers, so both parties would be satisfied with that deal. Now, we said they can do either 45 or 60 or 35 or 70, but they can also do a combination of both. So let's take a look at Spain, for instance. Let's take a look at these charts. Spain can either do 35 and 0 boats, or 70 and 0 trucks, or a combination of both. Okay. Now we're going to look at opportunity cost again. Remember we said they could do this or that, and opportunity cost would be what they didn't do. If they decide to do, let's say, 20 trucks and 40 boats, what would be the opportunity cost? If I decide to do 20 boats and 40 trucks, what's my opportunity cost? What's my OC? Well, I would look at what I could have done. My max of trucks should have been 35, but I did 20. 20 minus 35 would leave. 20 minus 35 would be 15. My opportunity cost would be 15 trucks. I decided to do 40 boats. My max could have been 70. 40 from 70 would be 30 boats. So my opportunity cost, if I decided to do 20 trucks and 40 boats, would be 15 trucks and 30 boats. Okay. So you're just subtracting what you did do from what you could have done to make your opportunity cost. And there you have it. Now, this is a production schedule. It can be horizontal or vertical, but has the same information. And if you know how to graph, you got a y-axis and an x-axis, and you're doing the same thing. I can do either 35, we'll call this point A, boom, or I can do 70, let's say this is point B. I can do any of this, or this some in between. Let's call this point C, 20 and 40. Okay, so we just graphed it, same aspect. Efficiency is when you're on this curve. As long as you maximize your material, this will be called efficient. Is it below this, doing less than what you're able to do, that's called inefficient. If it's above this, it's unobtainable because you don't have enough resources. Okay, that's the basic terminology for opportunity cost, comparative advantage, absolute advantage, terms of trade, and production possibilities. I can either do it on the line, being efficient, below the line, not doing all I could do, which is inefficient, or if you're tasked to do something above your ability, that's unobtainable. And there we go. Have a good day.